Hi y'all. So today is Tuesday. I think the 24th. How are you guys? Oh my goodness. So I'm here to talk about investing. Now, I already spoke with y'all. I let you guys know that I was putting money into the stock market. I found that very interesting. So let's talk about this, shall we? We have our little planner here, okay? Now, the last time I kind of spoke with y'all, I let you guys know that I deposited. I think the last time I spoke with you guys was on Tuesday, the 17th of this month. Just letting you know I deposited $200 more, okay? And Wednesday came along on the 18th of March, and I deposited $500 more. Now let's talk about this here. I was seeing the stock market like when I first started investing, which was, this is not when I just first opened up the account, but my first real investment, was it on Tuesday, March the 10th? Hold on. Yeah, I think it was on Tuesday, March the 10th. And that was my first $100 invested. I bought some stocks. Now, I didn't know what stocks to invest in or anything like that. So, I was buying like some penny stocks. I bought some other stocks. That was on the 10th of March. And then come the 16th of March, I deposited another $120. Now I was looking around and saying, oh, now what I was looking at, now you guys know I'm using Robinhood, okay? And Robinhood, if you guys are into investing, you may have heard, hey, Robinhood is crap. That's what people are saying because it did crash a couple of times. And I guess the stock market, if it drops below a certain point, it does like freeze up for like 15 minutes to stop people from panic buying, I heard. So I was like, okay. Now for me, it didn't bother me because I'm not into buying things as soon as they drop or anything like that. Now, I didn't know about all of these ins and outs. You guys know I'm just starting, right? And so, come Tuesday on the 17th, I deposited $200. And I'm just like, here I am buying stocks. Like they're dipping down, right? Now, I guess people call it the bear market. Where's the bottom? Where's the bottom? How low will these stocks go? Nobody knows, right? So this is like up in the air. It's like, it's just like, you don't know. You just don't know. And for myself, I'm thinking, hey, Candace, you have an influx of money right now. Not an influx, but y'all know I had like $4,000 saved up. And I go over all of that with you guys in my budgeting videos where that money came from. And I was like, hey, I can have it in a savings account and collect some interest, right? Or I can put some of that into the stock market and see how that goes. I think it was Save It to Clint. I think he is a subscriber to my channel. I don't even know if it's a he. But anyways, he was like, I did some videos talking about investing. He was like, you know what? I don't know if he's seen the fact that I was depositing more and more and more. But he was like, don't go overboard. Don't keep checking the markets. And don't panic, So my whole thinking was, I told you guys I wouldn't mind depositing a full 1,000 of my savings into the stock market. And that was my plan. I had a goal, right? I had to get a goal because really, you guys, I think a person can go overboard with just about anything in life. You could go overboard eating, you can go overboard drinking, you can go overboard spending. If you don't have like a goal in mind, like a stopping point, you can go overboard. And that's kind of how I took that comment from Save It to Clint. He was like, don't keep checking the markets, you know. And how I took it was like, Candace, have a stopping point. So my stopping point was being at $1,000. And now this was all before the schools closed down and all of this stuff, you know, because this stuff kind of just took place in the past like 2 weeks or week itself. And even my son's school just happened to close down for the rest of the school year. That announcement was just made yesterday. So this is what I ended up doing. I actually learned this as I'm going along, and I didn't get this from anybody's YouTube channel. It's just me and the Robinhood app. What I was seeing was I would put in a market buy. Now, the market buy is an average of what the cost is at that time. Now, if you ever look at the stocks, it can go up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And when you put in a market buy, it's like an average, okay? And what I would see as the stocks were falling down, sometimes it would dip back up and then it would dip back down and dip back up. This is all within like a couple of minutes. That it would kind of pull like the average, and I would lose money that way, okay? I was doing market buys. But, you know, playing through the app, I'm like, what other options does it give me? There's a limit buy. So you can set up for a limit buy. So like you can set a price. You set a price, and you can do it for the end of that day, or you can do up to, I think, 3 months, because it was giving me until June, okay? So I started putting in limit buys. So I told myself, let's say Royal Caribbean cruise lines, right? I was like, well, I don't want to check it constantly. I kind of took that message from the subscriber about don't check it all the time. So I put in limit buys. So I was like, okay, the stock right now is at 18, but I know that the stock kept going down, 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 down. And I was like, you know what? Let's say I bought a stock for $18, but then later on it would dip down to $12. So I was like, let me put in a limit buy. And if it drops down to $10, let the system buy it automatically for me. So that's what I started doing. And so when I transferred over this last $500, I was like, you know what, Candace, you're going to do limit buys. Now I went down to like the lowest of the low. So you could check out like the 52-week low. And that's like a 1 year low. And I was like, ooh, if it keeps dropping, the stock market keeps dropping, or these stocks keep dropping, I can probably get the limit buys. So that's what I did for a lot of mine. So there was like a couple of limit buys that did go through for really low. Like Royal Caribbean was like 12. I put it through for $12, I think. And that went through. Now, I mean, that was that was even lower than the 52-week low for that stock. So what I have seen in the past 2 days, because, you know, I think the news kind of changes what people do. And, you know, a lot of these things are starting to get like loans. I don't know how all of this plays into effect. But I'm starting to see like the stocks go up. And I'm like, my limit buys are at low. And I'm like, I have this money. Now I can keep the money sitting in there, right? I definitely can, but I'm not collecting any interest. So I had $400. So out of that last $500, I have $400 just sitting in there for like almost, as of today, it's a week. I have $400 just sitting in there. And I'm like, my limit buys, these stocks are going up. Now, if they drop down again, may I buy some more? Possibly, because my goal mindset was to invest at least $1,000, no more than $1,000. But I was trying to get a Tesla stock. I was like, ooh, the Tesla stocks fall below. I put in a horrible, not a horrible number, but you just never know. I put like in I think it was $180 for a Tesla stock. Because I was like, oh, I really want one Tesla stock. And I put in for some more the RCL, I think Royal Caribbean, that one went through as that limit buy, but like some other stocks I had put on limit buys, and I'm just like, there's no way, I don't think there's any way that the stock will start dropping down again. But if it does, I can, put money into it and buy the stocks that I originally wanted. So what I ended up doing today was taking that $400 and putting that back into my savings account. Because at least with Robinhood, I can, if I do change my mind, I can request a deposit, and it could take up to 5 days for, my bank will, send the money over, but I think Robinhood takes up to a full 5-day business days just to make sure that the money is not, because they give you instant credit with Robinhood. And they don't really say that the money has been successfully deposited. They give the banks enough time to say, hey, the money got returned, the customer did not have enough money. So they, it's like a time frame. But Robinhood does give you instant money from that request. So that's always a good thing. So I like that. And Robinhood is not interest free, but commission free. So you could trade and sell there's no fee for it. So I thought that was awesome. I've dealt with stocks in the past with like my old job, but I never did anything with it. And I just like deposited, let's say $50 into like a Roth IRA. Is it a Roth IRA? Yeah, I think so. But that money keeps growing some. But one thing I will say is, even in this short period of time, less than a month, I have seen my money go down, like $200. And I'm like, yo, I just invested how much money, and my investments went down to $200. So I was like, man, Candace, here you thought you were getting a good deal on these stocks, and the stock market was still dropping. So that's when I started learning about limit buys. And this is just me playing through the app. I haven't seen any videos talk about it because I don't watch a lot of investment videos. Some things I just want to learn on my own. I don't want to be, how can I say it? Be not persuaded, but have a train of thought like, oh, this person said it's good, they're a millionaire and stuff like that. I want to learn stuff for myself, trial and error on my own, and not just go by hearsay. But yeah, that's my stock story. So I put $400 back into my savings. So altogether, the amount that I do have in Robinhood right now is $525. And as of like the past 2 days, the stocks have been going up. Will it fall again? I don't know, y'all. But I do plan on keeping that money in there for a while. But I see like the RCL stocks, those have jumped up. I'm almost like at $80 extra. I only have like 8 shares. Like a lot of these places, I think Royal Caribbean is like the highest, the one that I had the most stocks with. That's like a little bit more pricier. The other stocks I have are like cents, like less than $1 stocks. I have like 20 stocks in this other place. And as I mentioned, I'm just starting out. But I'm really like just kind of like, Candace, just chill, because I was checking the Robinhood app constantly, checking on the stocks. I didn't mind when it dipped because I'm like, man, well, let's see how, I'm interested to see how it takes off, or how it plays out. Yeah, so if you guys have any investment stories, let me know. Do you guys know about limit buys? I love that aspect of limit buys. Oh my goodness. Because it really allows you to just sit there and not have to check every single time to put in an order. There are some other type of buys, BUI, like other type of buys. I don't know too much about them, but I will say Robinhood, the app really explains what it is and how it works. I just thought limit buys in my personal way was a lot more better than me always checking the app, putting in for a market price, because the market price can be averaged and it's not always the lowest, of course, right? So limit buys was the way to go for me, and I can do it up until put in a request and just wait for it to, do its thing. So yeah. So right now I have $525 invested. I took the extra money, like I canceled out all of those other limit buys that were on hold, because I mean, like, as I mentioned, they were the lowest of the low. And I'm like, Candace, if the stock happens to go down that low again, then I can, buy more and not go over my 1,000 that I want to invest. But right now I'm like, let me gain some interest and keep it in my savings account. I know it's not much, but it's better than nothing. If I keep it in Robinhood, it's not collecting any type of interest. So yeah. But I'm excited for this little journey. I wonder how often I should do, because I do want to tell you guys about the stocks that I did put into. As I mentioned, I don't know if they're good or bad. A couple of things that I did look at was their 52-week low and their 52-week high. And I'm like, wow, if I can get to the high, then I'm in good business, And then I'm like, oh, if I can get to the high or up there, then I can cash out and, take my money out and things like that. So I don't know. I think it's just fascinating. It's just interesting. But I'm not trying to overdo it on my end. And I have a call coming in. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.